Welcome to the Six Figure Business Mastery Podcast, where every week, Kirsten and Jeanne dive into the essential topics to fuel your business growth. From copywriting to course creation, mindset to video marketing, they've got you covered. Tune in for expert guest interviews on all things marketing and business, and learn how to work on your business, not just in it. So, get ready to unlock your business potential and take it to the next level.
If you're ready to finally turn Instagram video ads into real results, this episode is for you. It's going to break down exactly what to run, what to avoid, and how to craft an offer that actually converts. So our guest today, I'm excited to introduce you to. His name is Brady Sticker. His company is Church Candy. I love that name. And we look forward to having you and learning more from you, Brady. Thanks for coming.
Yes, of course, Jeanne. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today.
Well, Brady, I always love to ask this question first. How did you end up in the place where you are with Church Candy and running ads? What was your journey to get here?
Yeah, it's a great question. I get that a lot because I'm very young for where I'm at life. I got married at 19, and you don't typically see that with my generation. I'm 27 years old. I have two wonderful kids. And so I was actually a pastor over the youth ministry at my church. And it was a smaller church, so they couldn't afford to pay me. So I had a day job. And that day job was actually running ads for chiropractors. I worked for a marketing agency that did that my dad actually started. And throughout that season, my pastor asked me one day, he's like, Brady, is there a way you could take kind of what you learned from your day job and help us out at the church? And we want to reach some people in the city, invite people to church with some social media campaigns. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. And it took a while. Like the first $500 our church spent on ads, no one showed up from it. I was embarrassed, and I was like, okay, this is not going to work. But luckily, my pastor didn't give up on me, and we kept trying it. And eventually, we got things ironed out, and we started seeing new families visit our church. And then all of a sudden, I started getting phone calls from other pastors in other cities asking if I could help them too. And so today we've served over 1,000 churches, and we say that we're on a mission to connect 1 million people to a local church. And we track that every single week. We have now connected over 300,000 people to churches all across the country.
What a great impact you're making. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I think I live in Florida. We joke that nobody is actually from Florida. Everybody moves here. And I know for a lot of people, that's the first thing that they're working on figuring out is what church to go to. So do you have a lot of Florida clients?
Oh, we have clients all over. It's funny. I had my team make a map of everywhere we have churches. You would think it would mainly be in the South or the Bible Belt, but it's everywhere. We've got churches in Miami. We've got churches in Seattle, churches all across the East and West Coast, California, New England. So it's really cool to see how God's using, Church Candy to impact so many people all across the country.
Awesome. Now, do you only run ads for churches, or do you run ads for other businesses?
So the company only runs ads for churches. I do take on some high ticket coaching clients where I help set up your ads for your business. That's at a lot larger scale. And that basically came across whenever I would always tell people no. And then someone was like, well, everyone has a price. And I was like, all right, well, let's chat about that. So I do take on a handful of those clients, but for the most part, it's just churches.
Okay. So for all of you listening out there, let your pastors know about Brady and his ads that he runs. Who knows, maybe your church could grow that way. So I love this. So what are some of the, when you first are going to run an ad campaign, what are some of the things that you need to do right off the bat?
Yeah. For me, we've grown our business, the way we've reached pastors. The number one lead source for us is Instagram and Facebook ads. And so this is something that, yes, we do for our clients, but we know for us really, really well. And I think if you're just wanting to start running ads, the thing that you need to focus on is how do you make the ads not look like ads? That's what we have found that works the best if it doesn't look like an ad. Because here's the thing, if people are on social media and they come across your ad, well, if it's obviously you're just trying to sell them something, what do? They're just going to swipe away, right? They're not going to stop it. But if you can get them engaged and hooked at the very beginning, and it doesn't obviously come across right away that oh, this is obviously an ad, Brady's trying to sell me something, you're going to see way better results with your ads. For us, all of our ads that we run for our business are focused on filling up a calendar with sales appointments, sales calls. And what we have found works best are ads. Instead of me just running my mouth to the camera like this, it's ads of our clients talking about the results we've gotten them. So I actually host a podcast, and I've started doing it all in person. And here's why. I record it right here in the studio. The reason why I do the podcast in person, I'll fly one of our clients out here. It gets expensive, but it's worth it because I have just found that a video of someone on like a podcast clip, because people are already used to seeing podcast clips on social media, it performs really, really well. And so if I sit down with a client and interview them, ask them their story, tell them, just ask them to tell their story. And then we talk about like how our business has impacted their ministry. And then they talk about all the new guests they've gotten, all the growth they've gotten. Whenever they have one of these podcast microphones and they're looking off to the side and they're saying, yeah, the number one thing we did to grow our church was use church candy. That doesn't look like an ad. Comparatively, nothing, obviously, I love all podcast shapes and sizes. I'm literally doing a virtual podcast right now. But if I only did virtual and the pastor's looking into the camera and says, yeah, the number one thing we did to grow our church is use church candy, it just doesn't have the same feel because I'm looking directly into the camera. That could be an actor that I paid for all we know. But when your ads don't look like ads, there's a sense of authenticity. And that's why I love using like podcast clips and just like authentic testimonials have just worked really, really well for us at booking calls for our marketing agency.
It's so great to come up with like something so small, like looking away from the camera that has such a great impact.
Yeah, we've tested all sorts of, I'm embarrassed and I don't want to say how much we have spent on ads this year, but it is in the six figures and it's only September. So we have like really found what has worked to get service-based businesses new clients because we did it for our business. And so I struggle with a lot of other entrepreneurs as far as like shiny object syndrome. So it makes me want to now start helping other businesses too. But I've got to stay focused. I always remind myself, Steve Jobs used to say, focus is saying no to good ideas. But like I said, too, everyone's got a price. So if you do want me to help you with this, shoot me a DM on Instagram and maybe it'd be a good fit. But most likely I'm going to say no.
But I love that. That's also about the whole thing that you have your niche. You know who you can help the most and you're really focused on that. And it's also your heart, right? Like helping churches bring in new families. So
absolutely.
Makes sense. So what are some of the three key points to build a better ad? Like, if you're helping people figure out what type of ad should they create, obviously the video ads, having your customers in them, but what are some other things that they can do to build great ads?
Yeah, I always tell people like you need to look at the 3 P's, the people, pain, and promise, right? So people would be who are you showing this ad to, right? What we have found that works best for actually targeting the people that I want to reach, which would be like lead and executive pastors of churches. There's a strategy called retargeting. This is like what Amazon does. Like if you're on Amazon and you're looking at a cool podcast microphone like this, then you go to Instagram and you see ads for this microphone. That's not a coincidence, right? Amazon knows that you're interested in this, so they're going to target you directly with ads. So what we do, and we do this for our clients too, it's really easy. You just set up the Meta Pixel on your website and it allows you to build like a custom audience of people that have been to your website. So we already get a lot of organic traffic to our website just from referrals or people that watch our podcast or even people that like engage with us on Instagram. We're able to show them more ads. But so we'll show ads to people that are already interested, right? And that has a higher likelihood of converting. Why? Well, because they already know you. That trust has already been built. And then the second thing is, are they qualified? And the people that you're showing the ads to, can they actually afford your services? Are they a good fit for your program? I'll tell you this, we turn away probably close to 100 churches every single month just because we're not a good fit. Like there's no way they could afford us. Like, and I would even tell them, like, if it was my brother that was the pastor of that church, is like, look, I love what you're doing. You guys don't need Instagram, Facebook ads right now. There's some other things. Like if it's just like 3 people to meet in a living room, I love that. But like, you're not at the stage where you need Instagram and Facebook ads right now. Right. And maybe like thinking through this, okay, maybe we need to have like a downsell or something if I'm turning away 100 churches a month. Like maybe we need to have a better lower ticket or some kind of coaching or something for them. But regardless, it's the people, right? So what we do on our ads is before they even see a calendar, we ask them questions. And based on those questions, we either show them a calendar or we have just like a bunch of free resources for small churches. This reminds me, I actually tried to sell it. It was like $100 and you get all of this. And then people would leave comments like, oh, they're just after the money. Da, 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 da. And it's like, no, like the $100 for us doesn't mean much. It's just covering the ad spend that we spend on the ads for you to even go there. So I was like, whatever, we'll just give it away for free. So are they, number one, people? Who are you showing it to? How are you showing it to them with your targeting? And are they qualified? People, then pain, right? What is keeping your avatar up at night? Right? Like, what are the biggest problems that they have? If you're doing B2B, what's the biggest problems they have in their business? Or for like us, a lot of churches, they throughout COVID, right? This was great for us because we started in like 2021, 2022. A lot of churches were empty. They were on decline. They needed to get people in. And so that was what was keeping pastors up at night. It's like, we need to reach people. Like, people are lost. Like, we've got to reach our city. For us as a marketing agency, it's like, I got to get new clients. I got to keep my clients. Like, these are the problems that I have as a marketing agency owner, right? So you got to think of, what's the pain? What are the problems that your audience has? And then that's going to help you build an effective ad because you want to enter that conversation that they're already having in their head, right? Like, if they're already thinking about like, man, this is what's keeping me up at night. And then they see one of your ads, it's going to convert really, really well. Why? Because you're speaking their language, right? You're entering that conversation they're already having in their head. And then the last one is promise, right? A lot of the times I will like over explain like ad strategy and the targeting and all of this, and I'm selling the drill, not the whole. You know what I mean? Like, I need to focus more. And we found that ads that get the best results are whenever it's testimonials of our clients or podcast clips. Those outperform the videos where I'm talking about our unique strategies and how it works. Da, da, da. No one cares about that at the end of the day. At the end of the day, like, they want to know, what's the promise? What are the results that I'm going to see from this? Right. And so if you can just keep those 3 things in mind, the people that you're showing the ads to, the pain, the problems that are keeping them up at night, and then focus on that promise, how you're going to help them get from point A to point B, then you're going to have a really well-performing ad campaign.
Brady, let me tell you, both of us are very good at selling drills and not holes. Well, I should say we try really hard to sell drills, but we really should be selling holes. I think that that's a hard thing for a lot of us to do, right? So it's those benefits. It's what you can, what you can get out of what we're selling to you. Do you have any more tips around that? Because I do feel like that's something a lot of business owners struggle with.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like if you were a travel agent, you want to sell Maui, right? You don't want to sell, oh, you've got a 7 a.m. flight and you don't have TSA pre-checks. That means you're getting to the airport 2 hours early. So you got to be at the airport at 5. That means you got to wake up probably at like 4:30 or 4 a.m., pack up the bags, load the kids, and you can't afford first class. So you're sitting in coach with next to 2 people that probably didn't put deodorant on. And then you're on the plane, you're going there, right? That's selling the drill. You know what I mean? You don't want to sell the flight to Maui. You want to sell sitting on the beach. You want to sell the relaxation, right? And so even in like practically, like in our headlines, we don't say like Facebook ads for churches. No, we'll say how to get new guests with social media. Or the average church we work with is getting 20 to 50 new visitors every month, right? Like, we focus on that result. And then the same thing too with like the testimonials. So whenever I'm coaching like my video editors, like, okay, if a client sends a testimonial or we record a podcast, here's what to look for when you're clipping the ads. Look for the specific results. It's great if they say like, we love Church Candy, the customer service is great, Brady's an awesome guy, the team's amazing. Sure, all of that is good to have, but I want to hear our church went from 100 people to 200 people in 1 year. And the only thing we were doing for outreach was social media ads. Like, those are the kind of things that we want to look for. And that's selling the promise, right? Rather than selling the drill, selling the whole rather than the drill.
It's funny because I was having a conversation earlier today with someone who helps businesses come up with an exit strategy. And we know so many businesses don't sell and they end up just closing up. But we were talking about the fact that you need to prepare to sell your business. And he said, I often compare it to a house, and people seem to understand that. Someone comes in to view the house that they want to buy from you, and they're like, well, how's the plumbing? Oh, that hasn't worked for years. Well, what about the kitchen? Oh, we took the stove out because we never cook. So you're kind of pointing out all the things that are wrong with the house because you haven't bothered to keep it up. And he said, it's like a business. If you want to sell your house for the most money, you need to keep it up and you need to make it most desirable for most people. And I thought that was a really good analogy. And I loved your analogy as well, is thinking about how people can really visualize the results that they want and give them examples that can make them a comparison so they can understand what the outcome really could be and why it could be that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are some things that people should absolutely do? We talked a little bit about this already, but some things that they shouldn't do when they're going to run video ads.
So don't make them look like ads. You want to make them look like just like an organic Instagram reel. So like real practical, like don't record your videos like this, record them like this, right? I would recommend do some R&D, go to Instagram and start consuming some Instagram reels. Now careful, because they'll trap you in and it's like 2 hours later, it's like, oh my gosh, I've been researching. And it's like, no, you've just been doom scrolling. Like for me, it's like barbecue and football videos. I'll sit there for hours just watching that. But what that'll do is it'll allow you to see what are the types of formats, the editing styles that people are already using on Instagram Reels. And you want to make your ads look like that. So just like really practically, you don't want it to look like a commercial, right? It's okay if you want to use a fancy camera like this that I'm using here on this call, but like turn it sideways. That way it's vertical and it is that same aspect ratio as an Instagram reel. So you want it to actually look organic in your editing style. And then another thing is you don't want to just make one variation. So this is something that we like coach our clients on is record a video. And then when you're done recording that video, record 3 different hooks. Like that way we're able to split test what's performing the best. You don't have to re-record the whole video because like the base ad can stay the same. But if you're going to do split tests, instead of split testing 2 completely different videos, split test the thing that's going to be the biggest needle mover. And that's not just like the bulk of the video. No, the biggest needle mover is going to be your hook, right? That's going to get someone to stop scrolling. So for example, we tell our clients, record 3 hooks, one that's focused on faith, one that's focused on family, and one that's focused on community. I wish I had another F word, fellowship. There we go. 3 Fs. So the faith's like, hey, are you looking to grow your relationship with God? Are you looking for a new church in the Houston area, right? That would be a faith-focused hook. The family one would be like maybe talking about culture. It's like, hey, do you want to raise your kids in a way that is based on the Bible but you're looking around culture and you don't know what they're learning in school, yada, yada, right? That's one kind of maybe around family. And then fellowship or community, it's like, hey, doing life alone is no fun. That's why here at our church, we're all about fellowship. We're all about community, right? So you can split test those 3 different hooks. The rest of the video, just inviting people to church, is the exact same. So what we'll do is I'll have a montage of testimonial videos where it's just 3 to 5 seconds of a client talking about how much they love us, going back to back to back to back. But I will record different hooks of myself. It's whether it's like, hey, churches, can your church handle new families visiting? And then it just immediately cuts to testimonial. And I would just record different versions or variations of that hook. Then we'll split test that, right? And so that kind of brings me to another thing. I feel like a lot of service-based businesses dramatically undervalue the power of testimonial videos. Like I've got a friend, he runs a huge business. It's a digital marketing agency. They do more like SEO and website stuff, but they have like 400 clients, but they have like 7 testimonial videos. And it's like, what? Like, no. So like what I do is like, we have a team of account managers. I incentivize them to get those videos, whether it's on Zoom calls like this. And then we coach them on, hey, if a client says something awesome, be like, hey, do you mind if I press record and you tell me that again so we can use that to help reach other people, right? Or do something to where it's like, hey, if you send us a testimonial video, you get this bonus thing. Like for us, sometimes we'll do a text message campaign where we send out a mass text to your list, inviting them to your falls around the corner. So like your fall festival or trunk or treat that your church is doing, or just some sort of bonus value that they get if they send in a testimonial video, and then you leverage that testimonial video to get new clients. Because like I've always said, like, this is how we've grown our business is when we get a new client, we try to get them really, really good results. And once we get them really good results, we document that in a testimonial video or a podcast. And then from there, we leverage that in our marketing. We leverage what the results we got them in our marketing. And then we use that in our marketing to now get a new client. And then once we get that new client, what do? Oh, we get them a result. And then it just repeats. That's just the cycle that we've used to grow our business to have served over 1,000 churches.
That is amazing.
Fantastic. I want to talk, if I might, just go back to the hook. So
Yeah.
it sounded like you put the hook in the middle of the video. Is that right?
No, the hook's going to be at the beginning. Sorry. Yeah. Your hook's at the very beginning. So you'll have a hook that gets someone to stop scrolling. And then the body is the same. So we divide our video ads into 3 parts: hook, body, CTA, call to action. And typically the body and call to action are going to be the same throughout ads that we're running, our creatives. The things that we'll split test are the hooks.
Yeah, I think so many people forget the CTAs, don't they?
Yeah, no, give them a next step, right?
Or give them 12. You can do this or this or this or this. I think that's
no, give them one next step. Like, and if it's an ad, it's like tap below to claim the freebie or schedule discovery call or whatever that next step would be.
Well,
awesome.
Yeah, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. Now, I know there are people listening and they're going, okay, well, I need to talk to him because I need his help. So what is the best way for them to reach out to you?
Yeah, I'm most active on Instagram, just at Brady Sticker on there. Shoot me a DM. I respond to every single one, unless it's just like spam, and I'd be happy to help you out there.
Lovely.
Brady, I'm going to do another little call to action for everybody here. Remember, if your church is trying to grow, maybe you could introduce Brady to your pastor, because that's who he really focuses on helping, are the churches. And I'm going to mention your name to someone who is very active in her church I'm talking to this weekend. So I think what you're doing is amazing.
Amazing. I love it. Yeah, you can send them to churchcandy.com. Check out one of our, I think we have probably close to 100 testimonial videos now. So we'd love to serve any churches out there.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Brady. You have shared so many great tips and ideas and suggestions that I know anybody listening is going to walk away with some great information. So thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thank you guys so much for having me. I hope I was able to give some value to your audience.
Thanks for listening to the 6-Figure Business Mastery Podcast. If you enjoyed listening to this episode and you are ready to leverage video marketing on all online platforms, or maybe even start your own video podcast, then you need to check out the Done For You and Done With You program at themarketingvaadvantage.com and take your business to the next level.